Should I save?
No, don't worry about that. Go back to the start the presentation. That's the share button. You don't need to share it with anybody.
Okay. So
we're going to do that. And then we're going to do...
We're going to breathe.
Sharing your screen now.
I'm back.
All right, we can begin.
Okay.
okay, we got a couple minutes till 10.
We can hear you, and you're on live stream. So, just so you know.
What is that big black square on my screen? Gone now. It's a little.
I want that to go away, but I don't think I can make it go away.
I can hear you.
All right, fine.
1 minute. I've got 10 o'clock.
Start. You can start now.
How do I go to the next slide?
Not on the video, just on the slide. Just click.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mary, you can start now.
Good morning and welcome to this remote service of the First Unitarian Church of Alton, Illinois on January 16th, 2022. My name is Mary Johnson and my pronouns are she and her. I serve as one of the worship associates at the Alton Unitarian Church, where our congregational history goes back to the 1830s. Our church building stands on land overlooking the Mississippi River, land once the home of indigenous peoples who were stewards of the land, as we must learn better how to be. Our speaker today is Coenet Reverend Dr. Claudia Hall, who serves in many roles, including as a consulting minister for our congregation, as a parent advocate at Cardinal Glennon Children's Medical Center, and is Missouri's first Coenet, or Jewish priestess. Last Friday, due to the forecast of snow for this weekend, a prediction that didn't really come to much, we decided, with Alex and Ken Heff's technological help, that we would live stream this service from our homes. So we're joining you in your homes from our homes. We are about to enter sacred space. We are about to make this time and space, wherever your space may be, sacred by our virtual presence and intention. Let go of the expectations placed on you by others and those they taught you to place on yourself. Drop the guilt and shame, not to shirk accountability, but in honest expectation of the possibility of forgiveness. Let go of the thing you said the other day. Let go of the thing you dread next week. Be in your space in this moment now.
Don't play that out loud.
Due to an injury to our pianist's hand, all the music on our service today is on video and used with permission. We open our service with a prelude entitled, "There is a Love." The words were written by UU minister, the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker, and the music created by Elizabeth Horton. This 4-part musical round grew out of Horton's meditation on Parker's words.
Does this work?
There
An important ritual in the Unitarian Universalist faith tradition is the lighting of our chalice. Unitarian Universalists have many different interpretations of the flaming chalice, including the light of reason, the warmth of community, and the flame of hope. If you have a candle or a chalice, please light it now and join me in reciting together the unison words for the chalice lighting. We hallow this time together by kindling the lamp of our heritage.
I invite you to join with me now in a spirit of prayer and meditation. Gracious Spirit of life, we come together today knowing that we stand at the cusp of so many things. Our environment and our society are both facing many perils. We come together today in search of hope to carry on, in search of peace within and without. And we ask that we may find in the words and deeds of holy people, and in the words and deeds of one another, ways to make our values more than just words. May those who are here who need help find it, and may those who are well supported find ways to give out and reach out to those in need. Amen, and blessed be. We invite you to join with us in our opening hymn. It's number 51 in our gray hymnal, if you have it, or you can follow along with the words on our screen. It's Lady of the Season's Laughter. The words are by the Reverend Dr. Kendall Gibbons, and the music is by David Hurd. It is a tradition here at to place each service within the larger principles that we as UUs hold dear. While we are a religion with no requirement of creed or belief, we do have things that we support overall, and today's service comes from our Jewish roots and focuses on the second and seventh principles. Our second principle is justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Tomorrow, we celebrate the civil rights movement and the importance of establishing equal rights for all into law, and the continuing struggle to bring true equity into our society. Our seventh principle is respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. Tomorrow is also the Jewish holiday of Tu B'Shvat, known as the New Year of the Trees. It is a well-known fact that people of color and people living with the least means are also the people most affected by environmental problems, including pollution and climate change. These two holidays of social justice and of ecological awareness seem to be independent, but are actually both facets of larger justice for all beings that we as UUs are called to strive toward and hold forth as a beacon for all. As we gather together in worship, may we hear the ancient cry of the prophets to love and pursue justice for both people and the earth, since both are intertwined. Amen, and blessed be.
As part of our weekly worship service, we take time for the expressions of joys, milestones, or concerns. If you have something you'd like to share, you may write it in the chat area of your Zoom screen, or tell it to someone who is watching this service with you, or hold it silently in your heart. Today, our condolences go out to Buddy Stricker, our church's budget analyst. His brother-in-law died from COVID this past week. May the family find comfort, strength, and peace. And in the category of joys, David and Mary Weber received a wonderful late Christmas present, their first great-grandchild. Miles Shane Braswell was born on December 27th. Miles' mother is the Weber's granddaughter, Haley Myers, and Miles' father is Andrew Braswell. Congratulations to the new parents, the new grandparents, and to the new great-grandparents on this joyful event. We offer the gentle reminder that this community of faith is supported only by your giving. Stewardship is more, though, than just financial donations. It is also about donating time and skills to help our church. All are needed for the church to prosper. You can mail your financial gift to the church at Post Office Box 494, Alton, Illinois, or you can give electronically by using the links on our church's webpage to the Givelify or PayPal apps. If you are willing to donate in other ways, please contact a board member and let us know what you can do to help or what you want to do to help. Give what you will and what you are able, for you are a generous people. Please join with me in the offering prayer. May this offering equip us to inspire love and seek justice. The reading this morning is entitled Earth, and it is a poem written by the 2019 to 2021 Poet Laureate of the United States, Joy Harjo. Ms. Harjo is of the Muskogee Creek Nation and is the first Native American to be named as Poet Laureate. The poem is from a UU publication entitled Lifting Our Voices, Readings of the Living Tradition. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories. Talk to them, listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind, remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember you are all people, and all people are you. We are earth. Remember you are this universe, and this universe is you. We are earth. Remember all is in motion, is growing, is you. We are earth. Remember language comes from this. Remember the dance that life is. Remember, we are earth.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Claudia, and it's a delight to be with you all again today. Today, I'm speaking about two separate but intimately connected topics, the holidays of Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Tu B'Shvat. Most of you are familiar with the first. The day is set aside to honor the civil rights movement and the martyrdom of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in pursuit of racial equality. Far fewer of you are probably familiar with the Jewish holiday of Tu B'Shvat, so I wanted to begin by talking about its practice in both ancient and modern times. In the Torah, farmers had to bring a religious tax of a portion of their fruit to the temple each year, where it was eaten by the priestly castes and by the poor. In addition, in order to ensure the health of the trees, a tree could not be used for fruit for the first 3 years of its life. But this raised the question of when was a tree old enough to eat from? Rather than keep track or try to keep track of every tree in the orchard individually, which could have led to all kinds of problems, the rabbis assigned a single birthday to all trees, the 15th of the month of Shvat. This is roughly equal to when fruit trees in Israel are blossoming, although the snow outside does not necessarily match what's going on in Israel. But any tree that was planted before the 14th of Shvat was considered to be planted last year, while any tree planted on Tu B'Shvat or after was this year's tree. This way, a farmer could know fairly easily when the trees were mature enough to harvest and when taxes off that tree, produce taxes, were due to the temple. During the almost 2,000 years the Jewish people were exiled from the land of Israel, the festival of Tu B'Shvat fell away into minor significance, since very few Jews were allowed to live anywhere that they could plant trees. After the formation of the State of Israel, and with the rise in ecological awareness across Jewish life, from secular to the most fundamentalist of observers, Tu B'Shvat has taken on a new significance as the Jewish Earth Day. And observances range from planting trees and spending the day in nature to cleaning up human-caused problems, to even having elaborate Seder-style meals like Passover, but full of tree fruits and vegetables that are found in Israel or a place a person lives, or both. Unlike flowers and grains that die back every year, trees last a very long time and have a very long, productive fruiting life. Olive trees, especially, can live for thousands of years. Trees are sacred in Torah, and in fact, the Torah itself is called the Tree of Life quite often in Jewish texts. The idea that life and knowledge are personified as trees, not as gods or people, gives you a sense for the deep reverence for trees in Jewish life. In fact, during a time when other nations practice a scorched earth policy during war, the Torah explicitly forbids cutting down trees or burning them in order to gain victory. In the book of Deuteronomy, the people are told when you war against a city and you have to besiege it a long time in order to capture it, you must not destroy its trees. The trees of the field are not human to withdraw before you into the city. Judaism holds that God has given humanity stewardship of the planet. The word for stewardship is often regrettably translated as dominion, and it has nothing to do with ownership and everything to do with responsible management. In Jewish theology, God owns everything, but gives us the daily care of the planet in the way a housekeeper is given daily care of a home, or in the way that nurses are given the daily care of their patients. The patient does not belong to the nurse. Quite the opposite. A nurse is obligated to care for their patient in the highest manner possible. Nurses every single day have to care for people who treat them terribly, and they aren't allowed to let what their patients think or do keep them from giving that patient the best care possible. Housekeepers tend to the home of the people they work for, maintaining the place to the highest standard of living and working to keep it in top shape for a family. It is in that manner that Jewish theology teaches that humans are given care of the planet. We are charged with the sacred duty of keeping this place in good shape so that whenever the owner wants it, the divine can come into a clean and sparkling home worthy of the divine presence. Well, that's the ideal anyway. It is obvious that humanity has not been good stewards of the environment. We have instead ignored this place and abused our position to the point that the house is falling down around our ears. If a nurse decided to chop up their patients for profit, they would be arrested and jailed. Yet we, given care of this delicate entity called the earth, have done just that and are now facing our own destruction. But if we're being honest, it is the people with the least among us who face the consequences for others' actions. As I said earlier, those in poverty and people of color are facing the most immediate and dire consequences for human irresponsibility and human-caused climate change. Rich people, who are the worst offenders when it comes to the environment, simply move to a better town with less smog, or inland away from the ocean rising, or move to a cooler country away from the heat. Or else they just continue their destruction by using even more energy to keep themselves comfortable, regardless of what that means for billions of other people around the world. If you are like me, reading about climate change and seeing on a daily basis the horrible things that are being done to people in poverty and people of color in this country alone, much less around the world, is enough to cause a literal panic attack. So rather than bombard you with all the terrible things that are going on with regard to the environment and with regard to social justice, I want to focus on what our tradition teaches us about how we can make things better. Mr. Rogers, of blessed memory, said that his mother taught him, when bad things happen, look for the helpers. This is a piece of wisdom that is as true for issues of climate change as it is social justice, or frankly, anything humans do. When we are scared and frightened, look for the people doing something to help. When we feel powerless, be a helper somewhere because it matters to that person. When we are afflicted, reach out for help, and when we have capacity, help others. Really, things have not changed for human beings. Timeless wisdom is just that. It applies as much now as in the days of Torah, or Jesus, or Martin Luther King Jr., or Mr. Rogers. I bet this wisdom will apply hundreds of years from now as well. As we look at some nuggets of wisdom, let us take, as the rabbis say, and turn and turn and turn it again, for everything good is found within it. First, when you are scared, look for the helpers. Whatever issue makes you hurt on the inside, look for people that are offering hope and help in that situation. There is always someone, whether an individual or a movement, that is trying to make it better. To any of you watching this today or in the future who are working in medicine in any way, know that you are a helper. My endless gratitude goes out to each and every one of you for the ways you have fought against COVID and the numerous other diseases and conditions that come through your doors. I have nothing but gratitude for all the ways that you are fighting the negative propaganda and the vile hatred that are poured out on you by people who ought to be grateful instead that you are saving their lives. To any of you here who do ecological things such as reduce, reuse, and recycle, it may seem like it isn't doing enough, but together we are pushing companies to be cleaner. We are saving plastic from the oceans and learning to live more sustainably for my child, your children, and all the generations after them. To all who march in protest, who mail your senator, who cast your ballots for candidates who support freedom, justice, and equality over hate and fear, know that you are a helper. There always has been and there always will be something to fear. But so long as we see our interconnectedness, as long as we can be the helpers and see the helpers, there is also always hope. When you feel powerless to change something, seek out something you can change instead. This week, I was reading an article about the rise of fascism in America, and as a queer Jewish UU, I was scared, really, really scared, like take some meds and breathe into a paper bag scared. And the truth is, there really isn't anything I can do about it, which is even more scary. We all like to pretend that we have the power to change things and that we have the power to control our lives, when really we are fairly small in the systemic scheme of things. I can't stop the far right and their horrific, hate-filled lies. I can't stop the terrible things being done to people of color all across this country. And I can't stop the fact that money is buying power in Washington in ways that hurt ordinary people and our planet. So what can I do? It all seems so small in the big picture, but it's what I can do, so I did it. I took some snacks to the hospital and made sure the staff there knew their work was seen and appreciated. I knitted a gift for a friend going through a hard time. I baked some cookies for my neighbors. I made sure that my sheep and goats were properly cared for. I laughed with my son and looked into the eyes of my beloveds. I cannot change the world, but I can choose the good in whatever situation I am handed. Look for the helpers, and when you can, be a helper. Finally, when you are afflicted, reach out, and when you have capacity, help others. Both of these things are hard. We are taught in this country that to need help makes you weak or unworthy, or that people will reject you. So learning to reach out and say, I need help, is a hard skill. But it is also the most basic truth of our interconnected human lives. We cannot even come into this world on our own, and every meal we eat, step we take, or thing we make is the product of millions of people working together across the globe. When we can truly acknowledge our utter and complete interdependence on each other, when we realize that self-independence and self-assurance is just a lie meant to divide us, when we are able to ask for help as well as give it, then we can overcome yet another systemic problem and live more deeply into our values as Unitarian Universalists. When we have capacity, when we are able to do something to help, no matter how small, then we can add to the hope in the world. We won't always need help, and we won't always be able to give help. Like the seasons, our lives change and turn, grow and contract. If we do what we can, when we can, where we can trust that it makes a difference. Maybe not in any way we can ever see or measure, but it does make a difference. I am alive today because of medicines created by people who were died before I was born, people who will never know my name. They might not even know that their invention worked. But Judaism says that by saving a single life, you have saved the world. It also teaches that you may not know that you have done so, because a thing that you say or do now might save a life in ways you'll never know. Humans as a whole have made a real mess of things, and no single one of us can fix that. Our only hope always has been and always will be to lean on one another, to realize that we are intertwined, humans with each other and humans with this beautiful earth that we live on. When we work together in whatever small ways we are able, we make this world into a paradise on earth for us all. Maybe not today or tomorrow or even in our great, many times great-grandchildren's lives, but we can achieve it. It is this promise and this premise that gives us the strength to get up every day. It can be the guideline for our actions, and it can give us the power to overcome adversity. Justice for all, equality that we pursue with all our heart and soul and might, that we live into with each and every day. This is one of the ways that we can create heaven on earth and live into our principles as Unitarian Universalists on Martin Luther King Day, on Tu B'Shvat, and every day of the year. Find the helpers and be the helpers. Amen and blessed be.
This one?
Thank you, Claudia, for that great message. Our final hymn is number 311 in the Great Hymnal, Let It Be a Dance. The words and music were written by the Reverend Rick Maston, known as the UU Troubadour. On a personal note, When our family was relatively new to this church, maybe 1980 or 81, the four of us went to a UU weekend event at Camp Moval near Union, Missouri. And the guest speaker and musician for the weekend was Rick Maston. And Let It Be a Dance was one of the songs he sang there, and one that has been with me ever since. So we will now hear the video.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the words, and fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind, let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the dark there is no light. If nothing's wrong then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
I have a couple of announcements. Due to the reported increase of COVID cases in Madison County, we will not be having our personal care distribution next Saturday. Hopefully, we will be able to have it as usual on the fourth Saturday in February. And a quick reminder that next Sunday, we will be having our winter congregational meeting on Zoom following the Sunday service. Philip Lund of the Mid-America region of the UUA will be giving the sermon and will also participate in the annual meeting. Please try to join on Zoom for that meeting. I now invite you to put out your candle and recite in the words for extinguishing the chalice. The light of truth and meaning cannot be put out. We are keepers of this flame until we meet again.
As we go from this place, may we look for the helpers and may we be the helpers. May we share what we have for those here right now and for the generations that follow us. May we do what we can to bend the moral arc of the universe that much closer to justice. May we do what we can, where we can, with who we can, and may we know the peace that comes from doing our part. Amen, and blessed be.